So whether it be caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, anything really long as it's not like super hard drugs, I'm sure that might be a different category on its own, but it's very easy to quit when you have the right mindset. Now, I understand when there's two sides of this, okay? I'm going to explain this. The second point's going to be really important, so fucking stick around for that shit. But the first thing you need to know when you taking anything, whether it be caffeine, and I don't think all these things are bad, like in moderation, if you can drink it with indifference. But that's the issue. Most people can't. Most people, they need it. They wake up and it's like, don't talk to me until I have my coffee. They need their smoke. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but like if you need it, then it becomes an issue, because that's the thing. The first point, when you have any substance that hits your brain, it gives you dopamine and it fucks with your neurochemistry. What it does is when you get it, once you stop getting it, then you start withdrawing. And that's the issue. People don't, like, I'll use coffee as an example. I wrote a book on this, and like it's not the hardest thing to break, but it is pretty addicting. Like, it is very addicting. The way it lights up your brain is like very similar to cocaine. And with coffee, if you are drinking it and then you start to feel tired and feel like shit after you drink it every single day and then you stop, you're not drinking to get a boost. You're not drinking to feel good. You're drinking to not feel bad. You're drinking to end a withdrawal. You're drinking caffeine to end a withdrawal that caffeine caused in the first place. And that's the biggest issue. Like, same thing with nicotine. If you vape every single day or you smoke and you're doing that for months on end and then you try to stop, then you feel bad, so you keep smoking. You're only smoking to end a withdrawal that the smoking caused in the first place. But like a normal, healthy person, they're not a person who has sovereignty over their own life, which is something that my brand, I think, is going to be based around. They don't need a drug to function and to get by. They are fine on their own. They're not withdrawing. They're sound with who they are and they're sound with their life. And so they're not, I think that's the biggest issue. Like when you go to like use anything, it's either used as a crutch or it's used to get through a hard time or it's used to escape, when in reality it should be used as a moment of celebration. It should be used as something that's just a tool that you don't really rely on, but you kind of use every now and then as a celebratory thing. It's like alcohol, for example. If your life's gotten to shit and every night you come home and pound a bottle of wine, that's not going to do you any good. If anything, it's going to fuck with your sleep and it's going to make life harder. And it's not going to change anything, but it makes everything worse in a way every single night. But if you, every now and then, you go out with your buddies or you have like a party or you want to just have a beer to celebrate every now and then, from a moment of celebration, that's what makes it better. So that's my mindset that I have. Like, if you ever want to either quit or moderate anything, because like I wrote the caffeine book, it's kind of positioned as an anti-caffeine book, the marketing. But if you really think, like, I need to make a second edition to that book, but it's still a really good book. And like the mindset, which I'm going to get to the actual mindset in a second, it applies to any addiction, really. But the mindset that I kind of have now, and that I still kind of had back then, but I've developed a lot more now, is indifference. I made a video on this the other day. Indifference is the key to everything. I don't know if anyone's read Reality Transurfing, but I'm kind of digging into that now. And the philosophy from that is basically the same thing I was saying on caffeine, which is like, if you're trying to quit caffeine, vaping, alcohol, whatever it is, and you're giving it all your energy, like, first you love it, it's the best thing in the world. Like, I'll use pre-workout, for example. You take pre-workout, it's the best thing in the fucking world. You drink alcohol the first, and it's the best thing in the world. It's so fun. Then if you keep using it too much, and then you overindulge, it'll fuck you up, and it's not good. So then you realize, oh, this thing, you start to research and you think about it, you're like, oh, this thing's actually not giving me the benefits. You kind of take a step back and you're like, no, this is not good for me. So alcohol, for example, like, oh yeah, it's too much, it's not good. I need to chill out. So you might demonize it and then try to quit. But then if you keep demonizing it, like Alcoholics Anonymous, like, I think it's great if you get a support group, but if you're like 20, 30 years sober and you're still like, if you like the support group, fair enough, but if you're still constantly talking about alcohol, like, you haven't really gotten over it, in my opinion. Like, I think there's 3 stages. There's a stage where you discover something and you love it. There's a stage where you realize that, oh, it's not too much of this is not good for me. You start to demonize and you hate it. And there's a stage where you become indifferent. That's the key stage, the 3rd level of development. That's the way I look at it. Because if there's something that, like, you hate something and you keep thinking about it all the time and that's all you're talking about, that's all you're reminiscing, not reminiscing. That's all you're going over in your head over and over and over in loops, you're giving it more power over you and you're giving it energy. And at some point you're going to want to drink, versus if you let it go and you don't care anymore. You don't care if you have it or don't. And occasionally, yeah, you might have a beer, or you might, hit a vape or whatever, or have a coffee or a tea. And it's not something that you need. It's not something that you don't need. It's kind of just there. It's whatever. Like, you're indifferent to the outcome. That's when you truly become sovereign over your own life. Now, how do you get there? That's the biggest thing. That, like, when I was trying to, there's one point, I wrote this in my book. I gotta stop mentioning that damn book. Everything comes from the book. I was working a corporate job, and I was like I started with like 1 cup of coffee as pre-workout, because I thought black coffee was like the best thing ever for lifting weights. Like, I really liked it. Grab a banana or 2, or like an apple or something, and black coffee, and go lift some weights. It's the fucking shit. It's awesome. But over time, I noticed, like, I drink a cup of coffee and it's the best thing in the world. And I drink, over time, like, that 1 cup of coffee, I didn't get the same boost. Like, I didn't get much from it. I was like, what the hell's going on? Then I drink another cup, and I was like, oh, I get that boost again. That feels good. And over time, I ended up drinking, I was like 5-6 cups a day. I started working corporate jobs, lifting weights, doing both. And I was just slamming coffee all day. And I was like drinking a shit ton of alcohol as well. And I was just completely burnt out. And there's different factors to burnout, but one of them is like I used to think caffeine was like the biggest thing in the world. And it is, like, if you're over consuming it, it's awful, because it doesn't give you energy. It blocks how tired you are, and doesn't let you sleep and rest properly. And that fatigue does add up. There definitely is other factors, but yeah, so I wanted to quit, and it's so hard to come down off it when you're used to having like 6 cups a day, go down to 0. Like, you need to do it slow. You need to taper off. You need the right mindset. And that's the biggest thing. That's what I want to give you in this video, is the mindset. Taking like forever to get to it, but when it comes to any addiction in the world, this mindset, I got this from Tony Robbins, and I gotta give credit where credit's due. It's a great mindset. It's pleasure and pain. Human beings, we are motivated by 2 things. We are motivated by maximizing the pleasure that we feel and minimizing the pain that we feel. Everything that we do is in pursuit of those goals. So, for example, the reason somebody drinks alcohol is because their life is very, very painful. And they have something that they're not dealing with, something from childhood, some trauma. They have something that they're avoiding. Maybe it's their current reality. They don't like where they're at in life, and they don't like how they see the world. It's something. Something is bugging them. Maybe they have a bad relationship. Whatever it is, they're drinking. Usually, if they're drinking too much, like if someone's drinking like 2 bottles of wine every single night, they're escaping something. They're avoiding something, usually. So that's what it is. They're avoiding pain. That's the thing that they're avoiding. They're avoiding the pain in their life, and the alcohol makes them feel pleasure. It makes them feel better. So everything they do is from the lens of maximizing pleasure and minimizing that pain. Alcohol is the vehicle for that, or nicotine, or smoking, whatever it is, or caffeine even. Like, you're feeling tired when you wake up in the morning, you're going to a shit job that you hate. Therefore, you're going to slam a pile of coffee to give you that brain rush, a dopamine rush, that feel-good hormone, that chemical in your brain. And you're going to drink it to not feel as tired, because you're fucking dropping. You're waking up 7 o'clock. You're burnt out from sitting in a computer all day. And you drink that coffee. You want it. It's the thing you look forward to. It gives you more pleasure, and it minimizes that pain that you're feeling right now. The only way to actually, here's the thing, in life, you keep doing that, and you keep increasing your doses of things, the chemicals in your brain and shit, like, it's gonna burn you out, and it's gonna make you feel worse. That's when people change. When people don't change until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of changing. So they won't, like, that's why you can't really force somebody to quit. You can give them the information, you can tell them X, Y, and Z, and you can make them aware, but people will not quit anything until they realize it's more painful to stay the way they are than to change and take that leap of faith. So it comes to quitting caffeine, for example, or let's use caffeine. If you're burnt out and tired all the time, you realize, oh my God, caffeine's contributing to this. I need to like lower my caffeine dose, at least pull it back a bit and let myself actually rest. It's painful to quit. Your brain withdraws from it a bit. You get way more tired. You get some headaches, whatever. And there's tips to help that I wrote about, but you're going to feel something from it probably for the first few days. Your dopamine regulation is going to feel off, and it's painful. You'll only go through that if you're in so much pain from consuming caffeine way too much, or alcohol, or whatever the hell it is. You'll only quit when you realize you can't keep going. The way you've been living your life is so painful. You need to change, and you're forced to change. The pain forces you to make a change and take a shot at a different direction. And that's the key. You need to keep that mindset. You need to realize when you think of, if you want to completely quit something and not moderate it, just like completely quit. Let's say it's smoking. I don't want to keep switching examples, but try to be inclusive. If you're quitting smoking, you need to think, like, when people quit, they're like, oh, I wish I had a smoker now. I'm withdrawing. A smoke would be so good. It's so great. Oh, that would just fix everything. That's why they can't quit. They view it as a god. They view it as the best thing in the world. They view it as pleasure, and they view quitting as painful. Flip that. You need to view smoking as, you need to think of how tired and how stressed out and shitty did you feel, and how bad is your fucking asthma or your lungs and your VO2 maxing and your workouts when you're smoking all the time. Maybe you're fine. I don't know. But if you do want to quit, you probably realize it's negatively affecting you in some way. You're drinking every fucking day. How bad did you feel? How tired did you feel? You need to think about that pain every time you want to drink. You need to remind yourself, this thing is pain. Quitting is pleasure. Quitting and having that natural energy back that you had as a kid, that's what you want. That's the end goal. Feeling that purpose, feeling that power, that energy, that freedom and sovereignty over your own life, that control over who you are. That's what you get when you quit. And when you flip that and you view quitting as pleasurable, and you view drinking every single day as painful, that's when you'll actually quit. You only quit when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of changing. That's the trick. That's everything. That's literally addiction management 101. There's different tips you can have now. There's different strategies. And every chemical substance is different. And, you know, some of them you can drink in moderation and have, and some of them it's like you're on fucking heroin, like, you know, knock that shit off. It depends on what you're dealing with. But overall, like, caffeine, smoking, alcohol is a little bit trickier. Alcohol withdrawal you need to be careful with. It's something that the withdrawals can be lethal if you drink way too much. So definitely, like, that, I'd be careful of that one. Definitely take some vitamin B1 if you're just look into that. You can look this up. Doctors usually recommend it, but people coming off like heavy alcohol. But yeah, overall, if you keep this pleasure and pain mindset and you just let go of importance, you stop white knuckling it and treating it as the end all be all, and learn to realize that it's not good for you all the time, but like every now and then could be fine. And maybe you're someone who can't do it every now and then. Maybe you just have an addictive personality. I don't know. But, and maybe it affects everybody differently. Some people drink caffeine, they fall asleep. Some people drink caffeine, they're wired for a day. And like smoking and alcohol, same thing. So really depends on who you are, but just have that awareness and have that mindset, and you will be able to manage any addiction. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.